Hi, my name is Sarah Phillips, and I'm an artist living and working in Harrisonburg, Virginia in the Shenandoah Valley. I am a sculptor, I work in photography, video, a lot of installations, sometimes textiles, and I'm also a writer. I do a lot of space-based performances, most recently a performance called Ascent, where I was climbing ladders in the ocean at Assateague Island National Seashore. You're welcome to find more information about that piece on my website. For the residency, I am proposing a continuation of what is an ongoing body of work, which oscillates between the titles of Letters to Landscape and Untitled Walks. This work is an attempt to harness that which I love about making and writing, and also to recenter the way that making as an artist sort of happens. I think a lot about the narrative of art, of being an artist, and it has this sort of history of being a taking practice. You take from the environment, you take from the earth, and you make something else out of it, and then you put it back out into the world. And I really wanted to investigate ways that I could make it less destructive, less of a taking practice, and more of an exchange and a collaboration with that which with I am surrounded. I've been thinking a lot about how, as children, going outside in and of itself is an activity and a destination, but as adults we tend to stray away from staying and spending time in places, being there absent of an objective. But in light of COVID, I've been spending a lot more time outside. I work on a farm, and thinking about the intimacy of sort of having dirt on your hands, under your fingernails, in your hair, in your mouth if I'm like harvesting and I eat a stray tomato. And how I miss that sort of feeling about the places that I'm experiencing. When you're a kid, you're playing in the creek and it gets all over you, and we don't do that as much in adulthood. So I've been considering ways of returning myself to place, to ground, to soil, which after all is a kind of a representative of the history of itself, its making, its occupants, its geology, its geography, and its climate. Over the last few months, I devised a way to communicate directly with the soil, and by making sort of a type kit, I manufactured it to let me type my thoughts directly into the ground, which made a really intimate experience. And the three that you're watching in this video are three different versions of me typing from Assateague Island National Seashore, from Ingram's Mill, which is like a nature preserve in Pennsylvania, and then Mole Hill, which is one of the most recently active, albeit dormant, volcanoes on the east coast of the United States, about 10 minutes from my house. The national parks have had a really important role in my life. My family made a point to visit as many national parks as we could growing up. We just recently finished visiting all 48 of the contiguous states, and we've been to countless national parks in between, and so those are some of my greatest memories. And recently I've been reading a lot about the U.S. and the land and our relationship to it. Annie Dillard's For the Time Being, Robin Wall Kimmerer's Braiding Sweetgrass from an indigenous perspective, and a recent favorite, In the Hour of Land, which is written by Terry Tempest Williams. And all of those have informed the way that I've started to think about my spaces and intimacy and making and not doing damage. Leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but pictures, but also leave some and take some gratitude too, I think has become my new mantra. And just the ways of relating the type kit and the soil back to each other. I've recently been working with recontextualizing. I take some soil samples when permitted from the places, and I've been making soil-based inks for my typewriter so that I can type back on them. I'll show you some examples in my portfolio. And thinking about gallery installations when I'm stenciling those words back onto the wall, and how can I make a relationship between those words. Human passersby may or may not get the opportunity to see the work, at least as I've conceptualized it, before it disappears because of rain or snow or the tide, and I think there's something lovely about this ephemeral temporality to it. So that is the work that I would like to present. I'm really excited about the work, and I think that this national park would give a really wonderful opportunity to continue this work in some really magnificent landscapes with an incredible geographical and geological history. Thank you.